Yeah, the Sonics is rock and boom.
Yeah.
Taking this Sonic and just, being very studious, learning how I can just add to it, bringing it to the world.
Right. Rock and boom, trademark by Teezo Touchdown, man.
Absolutely.
Man, all right, y'all. Ox Money back with another one. This is easily the most stylish episode to date, man. And I was just telling Teezo, our beloved guest here, off camera actually, how it's not a coincidence that we're actually shooting his episode right here in New York City because he has a lot of history there. But we'll get to that in a second, man. This is one of my favorite artists at the moment, easily. We're going to talk about his album. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of shit that's going on in Teezo's life. He just announced his own tour. I know he can't wait for that shit. But, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, to our live studio audience, man, Teezo Touchdown is in the motherfucking building. Oh, man. Oh, they're standing up. They're clapping. It's fucking lit. What's going on, Teezo? How you doing, bro? What's the deal?
Man, I'm blessed. I'm happy to be in New York, man.
Yeah.
I love New York. I love you mentioned it. I always say New York is like a trampoline for me. Every time I get here, I just bounce higher and higher.
Yeah, I love that. That's fire. When was your first time actually coming to New York City?
First, I'm glad you asked me about this story. The first time I came to New York was for a meeting. Had an A&R reach out. We did the meeting and we were supposed to pull up to the studio, but the A&R never showed up at Manhattan Beach. I was just in that studio a few days ago.
Manhattan Beach is amazing. That's crazy.
Studio C. I just wanted to say that
story.
story.
Who ain't show up, man? Who ain't show up?
I don't remember their names, and I was saying I wish I could remember their names because they can probably still come up to me today and just reintroduce themselves, and I probably won't remember.
Right.
I remember that story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's wild. And so from then, I know you spent a lot of time in New York. Maybe like a whole summer, maybe like a whole year. Was this like a couple years ago, maybe right after COVID or something like that?
I'm trying to see. No, I think it was just coming out here back and forth a lot.
Oh, okay.
Like, a lot of, like the first magazine I shot here. The first magazine I was in, we shot here with Stephen Klein. So it's just like every time I come here, it's just for like random reasons. I love it. I love it for the art. It's I'm looking forward to do a lot of music here. It's one thing I haven't done. We've done a few jams.
Yeah, a lot of times you come out here, it's just media, press.
Yeah, media, press, and fashion.
Get in and get out.
Yeah.
Would you ever live here?
Absolutely. I think that's the goal. I think coming from a small country town, I need to get that city out of my system. I lived in Houston during the pandemic. But I need to get Manhattan, heart of the city, get that out of my system.
You got to. I feel like every artist should, to be honest, but you in particular, though. I feel like you really create a lot of dope shit. So, yeah, let's go back to these beginnings, man. You talking about this small country town. Describe Beaumont, Texas, bro, for everybody that doesn't know.
Yeah, Beaumont it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place that it took me a while. It took me leaving there to really appreciate and understand that there's no other place like it. The way we talk, the way we dress, the food. And I'm just thankful from coming there to having, DJ parties there, perform there, talent shows, really just, cutting my teeth with the sound from that. And I really think it really influences the sound because, like I said, there's no other place like that. So that's why no one else sounds like me.
Do you think that your sound came from actually your surroundings, or was it like being in Beaumont and just everything was outside of Beaumont, so you're constantly grabbing from, from the internet, from...
I think the placing of Beaumont, we're an hour and a half from Houston, so of course that wave, that shock wave, that body rocking and shocking definitely came down and hit Beaumont as well. Yeah. As you have to Louisiana, we 45 minutes from Lake Charles, so we getting that. And then once the internet happens, that's how we're finding like artists like Soulja Boy. We're seeing what's going down in Atlanta. Yeah. And we just it definitely, just being like in this small town, all of those influences definitely washed over us.
How was it just leaving town? How was it leaving Beaumont? Now you've opened up on a couple arena tours now. Yeah. Are there any cities that like particularly stick out from, from Tyler's tour, from even Utopia Now, that you feel like are just like your hub when it comes to just your best audience, your biggest influence?
Yeah, I think New York loves me, and it's funny. Yeah. I think we started our tour. It was my first tour. We started the Tyler tour, I want to say, in Arizona. And I remember just having
Arizona's every time Phoenix is special, man. It might be the most slept on place in the world, to be honest. Like Scottsdale, that whole Phoenix area.
Yeah. So it's a little spectrum for me, though, because that first show, it's when I came out full. It's when I had heavy nails. And
that was the first time you did it in Arizona?
Yeah, like first time performing with it.
Yeah.
And
what the is that?
The sound check.
He's literally in there playing house music.
He did a little transition. Mind numbing right now. I don't know what I'm talking about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Action. What made you choose Arizona, Tyler's tour, to really just turn shit up? to a whole different vibe?
So the nails came about, you know what I'm saying, after going to LA for the first time in 2019.
Yeah.
And then coming back home to Beaumont, really looking at it like, all right, there's no other place like this.
Mm-hmm.
Then also looking at artists, like with their brand association, like, you know, artists have certain things that you know that's them.
Yeah.
And I was just searching around, and I just literally looked in my backyard. You know, my dad was a maintenance man, so he had tools laying around the house, and with like the whole punk aesthetic, it's already spiky. So I was like, yo, let me take these nails.
Very spiky.
I'm gonna put these nails in my boots and in my hats and stuff. And I had hair, so I was like, yo, let me put these nails in my hair. So it's a symbolic of my hometown, and also my father, who's a big influence on why I do
your dad
music.
did a lot of different things, man. What was your dad's? What was his whole? He wore a lot of hats, didn't he?
Yeah, he wore a lot of hats. He was one of the first people who I would see. You know, people have these conversations about eras.
Yeah.
I used to tell my dad, I would see my dad go through these different eras of like styles and stuff, like just in the house. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's how he wore his hair or whatever.
Behind it, just because he.
Yeah, you know, just I feel like that's the cool thing where, like, you know, I'm living life. You know what I'm saying? These different levels and phases you go through, and it was really cool to see him do that. But having a dad who was a DJ and who just a fan of music, I think. He definitely influenced me to do music, but he really showed me how to be a fan of music, having merch, having these CDs and DVDs around the crib.
Yeah. So what got you into DJing? Was it just watching him, or was it like, I just really want to DJ these parties for my friends? Was it out of necessity? What started your DJ career before you turned into an artist?
I think it started, my earliest memory, I think it started with this broken turntable that was just sitting on the chair in our den, and I would like go up and like do the motions, because you would see DJs on TVs and movies, and I did the motions, and he was like, yeah, that's not really like the type of turntable you need to actually DJ.
Yeah.
So we ordered some techniques, and matter of fact, every Christmas I would get something music related. And one year I got a piano, then the next year I got some turntables, and it started like that's elementary school, and it started from there.
Yeah. Do you still DJ now? Like, just in your spare time, would you just find like a little duck off or some shit just to?
I think with the curation of the music I make, I think that's my expression of DJing now. But I definitely want to get back to the hands-on, you know, aspect of that.
Yeah, hell yeah. How are you, like, mentally? How is everything? I know that shit can get really draining on somebody. So
yeah, it's tiring, but it's that tiring that I pray for and ask for.
Exactly.
So I welcome it. And I feel like this tour, I commend you, Trav, and everyone around, just for how much information you're giving me, how much confidence, validation y'all are giving me. Like, this is great. I feel like this is a great tour. You can even see, like, from like the first date, the evolution of me, like how I was dressed and how I was moving until now. You can see that, you know what I'm saying? I'm learning in real time. So like this tour has been amazing for me, man.
Yeah. So what's gonna be different on your headliner tour, man? What you got planned?
A movie, theatrics, you know. I know you got some shit going on. Yeah. Just want to give you an experience. It's very important for that first tour to really give them a reason of why they should come and why they should tell someone. Yeah. All right, now let me flip it over to you, to your first tour. I got my first tour coming up.
Yeah.
Take me to y'all's first tour.
Oh, shit.
Which one was it? Was it the rodeo tour?
Bro, I'm going to break some shit off right now, bro. I'm going to tell everybody some shit. It's crazy because even, like, it's wild. People come up to me and be like, oh, like, we're day one fans from this, we're day one fans from that. And it's like, what is your landmark of day one? You got to ask that. Like, what do you consider day one, right? So everyone's like, oh, like, even yesterday, I feel like somebody was like, oh, like Goosebumps was there day one or some shit like that. It's like, all right, like, you're not going to just write it off, but, you know, that's day, like, 108. But nah, our first tour, bro, actually was we opened up for the homie Casey Veggies, bro. Wow. Shout out to Casey Veggies, shout out to LA, shout out Anwar, shout out Josh Pease, man. This is probably 2013 or probably like 2013. And we were actually opening up for Casey. And the only show that we didn't open up for him was in Houston, actually, at like the small room at Warehouse Live. And we were just, Jaleel was there. We was like in a church van. We were just mobbing around. We probably did like all like the West Coast shit, like the LA's, San Diego's, in Phoenix, Scottsdale, and shit like that. And it was a really interesting tour, bro. And it was nothing like this is now. It's really, when it comes to this, it's not a lot of shit that people could tell us when it comes to touring, because we've seen every step of the way. And it's really important. I feel like opening isn't like a valued craft anymore. You know, I feel like everybody's just so ready to just get to these arenas and get to such and such. But, you know, learning how to open and just seeing how your music gets responded to in these different atmospheres is very important. So I'm gonna ask you, after you did the Call Me If You Get Lost tour and you're playing these arenas, how did that change your music making process into like, okay, now if I'm going to engage with a bigger audience or if I have more speakers to deal with, how is that going to change how I make music for the rest of my career?
So that was just watching the songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Trippie Redd FaceTiming me in like 2019, like just after we had first met, and he was performing the I Can't Feel My Face.
Right.
And I noticed how he has this thing that he can like point the mic at the crowd, and it's like this conversation that goes back and forth.
Right, call and response.
So like the songwriting in the call, yeah, exactly, the call and response, seeing how they're integrating that into their songwriting. So seeing how Tyler does it, how Travis doing it every night, seeing how Turnstile does it.
Right.
That's how you get records like Too Easy. You know what I'm saying? That's very, like, I know these are working, these arenas that I'm playing now. I'm so blessed and fortunate to have my first 2 tours being in arenas because I feel like it directly affects my pen. I'm making these bigger records because this is what I'm seeing every night.
I want to ask you about how do you sleep at night? What's the oldest song that you recorded on that album, and what was the last song that you recorded on that album?
I would have to say, I think Mood Swings, maybe.
Yeah.
Mood Swings, because I was playing with that bass line for a while. So I was probably say like Mood Swings or maybe even Daddy Mama Drama.
Okay.
And the last one was Impossible, rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
That was me coming like to the end, like, yo, all right, we have to turn this in. This is the end. That
sounds like like a very closure moment, really.
Yeah. It was my now and never session, and what a great song to end on.
Word. I feel like the word of the day right now is inspiration. Right?
Yeah.
And we got to know what inspired all of this, right? And I feel like with you, we got to talk movies because I know movies are heavily involved in this process.
Absolutely.
What are just some standout, maybe not even your favorite movies, but what are some movies that you really take away from the most when it comes to just the whole aesthetic, the whole sound, and just building your brand?
Absolutely. I get asked a lot who I want to collaborate with, and I say the same name all the time, which is Robert Townsend.
Yeah.
So if you go and look at Hollywood Shuffle, you can basically mirror the beginning of my career looking at songs like Careful and Sucker. You can go back, and even up to the mid, you know what I'm saying? You can go and look at a lot of references from Hollywood Shuffle, Robert Townsend. So I think that's who I'm really watching and taking heavy influence from.
Yeah.
Because I love comedy, but I love that he can go and do a 5 heartbeats as well.
Mm-hmm. What do you think is like missing from the movie industry right now? That rawness of, you know, like we don't get movies like the Holy Mountains of the world and like the real raw, edgy, just passion projects. What would you like to see just out of, you know, the movie industry?
I would like to see where a lot of that camera equipment from the 2000s and, you know, like the movies that you name, where is that sitting at?
Yeah.
A lot of that crew as well, see where they're at. And then also I think just an appreciation not only for movies but for art in general. Like really, I still love going to the movies and stuff like that. And I feel like there are great movies, you know, being made right now. I say one of my favorite directors right now is Ari Aster.
Yeah.
So I think just an appreciation for the art and really just understand that I think we see it, you know, being on sets, we see how many hands, we see the actual people that are listed in the credits afterwards, you know, how much they love and their passion. So I would just say just a little appreciation for it. And I think that goes behind the camera and for the fans as well. If we expect, you know, the fans to appreciate it, we should also be appreciative while we're making it and having a blast and really want to, you know, put something out that people will love, even ourselves.
All right. Let's talk some shit, man. We on this tour, bro. What is on your rider in your room? What is on your rider? This is where it gets judgy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I gotta update my rider, but like I said, being on this tour, seeing the rooms, and you know what I'm saying. My rider is very, very simple. I got like some fruit, mangoes, honeydew, and some lime and tahini. Well. Yeah, lime and tahini. And
that's a sleeper. All right.
Yeah.
I don't got tahini on my shit. I might hold on. I might send some emails.
Yeah, and I got some sun chips up in there, but. What I'm looking for that one thing. I'm looking for that one thing that I can start small. Like maybe, I need this rug right here in the room. Start as small as that because I've seen how crazy green rooms can get.
You heard about the Madonna shit where she used to literally like move her hotel room to like each city on tour and shit like that.
Absolutely. Prince had what they call a fufu master who would do that not only for the green rooms and also for the hotel. So
right.
Yeah.
So for your production manager that's about to be on this How Do You Sleep at Night tour, what do they need to know about? What is your dream writer so they can get this shit right now? What's in
Dream
the room?
writer.
Let's do the whole thing. If you need a zebra in the shit, then say that. If you need shrubbery, as these beautiful plants are right here.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think what we'll do is take the time now and manifest that. So I'll close my eyes and see.
Let's envision this shit real quick.
Let's do a cheetah carpet.
Okay, that's what I'm praying.
Yeah, let's do a cheetah carpet. Have a studio there, of course. Let's have a studio. All right, let's see. We need a couch. Big couch, furry. A lot of fur. So let me do a furry couch.
What color?
All right, we got cheetah, so we don't want to go too crazy. Let's do black.
Okay. A black furry couch?
Yeah, cheetah. Black furry couch.
I like where this is going.
Black rug as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
TV or no TV? Do you like watch movies and shit before the shows, or are you more conversational? Do you like it to be?
Let's do a TV up in there.
Okay.
Let's do a TV that we bring around. And all right, that's all for right now. 'Cause I'm still taking notes from everyone's green room. I'm looking around here seeing what do I want to.
Don't take notes from this shit.
Nah.
I gotta update my goddamn writer too, man.
Yeah, it's calm in here.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty generic, bro. It's all gray and shit. But no, we're vibing out. So with the sun chips and shit, I know that's not your favorite snack, bro. You got more.
That's what I'm on right now. So during the making of the album, I did like a quarter of it in London. So there was a store right down the street which I got Takis. So whenever I want to go back to making the album, I close my eyes and I go grab me some Takis.
Yeah.
So while I was making the album in Los Angeles, it was sun chips in the room.
That makes
sense.
The
red bag.
Yeah.
So now I just wanted to, when I close my eyes and eat that, I'm like, oh, that's where I was when I was making my album. So it's little stuff like that. And the fruit and tahini, that come from being in Los Angeles and seeing those little carts on the side of the road and stopping by.
Okay, so we're seeing the influence and we're running around.
Yeah.
Okay. And so your tour, it starts in Europe, right?
Yeah, it starts in Europe.
It starts in Europe. What have you been out there? You dabbled around a little bit in the Europe streets and all that type of shit. How you feel about it?
I mean, other than doing like a quarter of the album there, the Circus Maximus movie,
right? Yeah.
And then I went to the matter of fact, the day before too, I was flying in from Barcelona for the first time. So like,
I would move to Barcelona. Just put that on the record. I love
it's crazy. It's just I remember my first festival in London and just seeing that people out there, you know what I'm saying, know this music, like coming from like your partner house in Beaumont to doing it now when like the world, you know what I'm saying, is catching on to it. Like it's still unbelievable.
Do you have a favorite city in Europe? Would you spend like that? You would spend like a significant amount of time in?
Right now, it's London by the King Station. That's why I'm
specifically.
Right now. Yeah, right there. I love hopping out of what that is. I think the Standard. Yeah. And just hopping right to the trains and stuff. Like, yeah.
That's my answer as well, man. Love London town. Shout out to all my London folks. All right, so check this out. Sorry to ambush you with this question, but we asked all of our guests that sit on the Aux Money couch. They got to put us on to 3 different things, right? It could be music, it could be movies, it could be food, it could be a philosophy, it could be an idea, but we asked for 3 different things. So we're going to ask you for your thing.
Yeah. What can I put you on to?
Yeah.
First, the most important, let me put you on to yourself. I say take time to look in the mirror and really romanticize who you are. Let me put you on to yourself first. And then number 2.
That's heavy. I like that.
Yeah, number 2, I'm going to put you on to this artist by the name of Teezo Touchdown.
Yeah. Who is himself, actually.
Yeah. It's from a small town in Beaumont, but he's really rocking right now.
Yeah.
And number 3, what I'm going to put you on.
Man, first of all, I'm about to put y'all on to this song cald Third Coast.
Yeah, for number 3, rightfully so, Third Coast. I'm gonna put you on the Third Coast.
All right, and let's talk about that because for everybody that doesn't know yet, Third Coast is this amazing song that I've been hearing bits and pieces of throughout this whole tour. I thought it was 3 different songs, but it's one song.
Yes,
it's the most beautiful shit I've ever heard in my life. But let's talk about the production because I feel like even during that Luckily I'm Having session with Don, I think that's the first time I heard like one of the pieces of the song, and I asked you who made the beat, and you were like, "Yo, it's my homie that I met from YouTube or something." Like that. And this isn't the first time, even on this show, that I've heard of YouTube producers that are about to make millions of dollars off of these fucking publishing deals or whatever. How is it really? Because at this point, you're really collaborating with, this producer that you met from YouTube, and have y'all even met in person before? Is it?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we're talking about D-Lo, man.
Okay.
And I said I'm gonna go into this story because I got a lot of producer homies who looking for like, yo, how can I get in? How can I get my beats heard? And a lot of people like to frown down on the type beat culture, but you know what I'm saying? Most artists know what they looking for, and I knew what sinus I was looking for, so I put in blank 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 type beat.
Yeah.
and I found D-Lo, and not only did he have that, he had like he just has so many sounds, and he's so talented, and it doesn't sound like imitation, it sounds like innovation.
Right.
So I found that and told him like, yo, I've never been so excited about a producer ever.
Man.
Reached out to him, and yeah, we've been working on a lot of records together.
Yeah, bro, you can say blank. We're gonna keep the blanks blank.
Yeah.
But there's no blanks that could fill in those blanks to that type of beat, because that's like, I don't even know where to start. It's such an original craft what you guys made with that. So it's just amazing that those type of beats are sitting on YouTube waiting to be discovered.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, I'm looking at some H-Town type beats. I'm looking at Timbaland type beats, and I say I'm so great to say that the Timbaland type beat, because D-Lo said that like, yo, I just got linked with Timbaland off of posting that third coast.
As simple as that.
Simple as that, man. It's
Don't
so
think too hard.
Yeah, I encourage you to please get your music out there, no matter how. Get your art out there, whatever you're doing out there, because you never know who's watching.
No, for real. So it's only right that his third thing is a song called Third Coast. Can't wait till it comes out. One last thing I'm gonna ask you, bro. I felt like where we meet, just off of like our interactions, just even upstairs in like the little after party rooms and shit like that. I feel like where we meet musically in the middle is 90s R&B or like early 2000s R&B, and not the typical shit. Like we're really up there jamming Avant and Jagged Edge.
Yeah.
So where do these influences come in your music, and how do you describe your your version of modernizing all of that?
So I think it starts for me being a kid, sleeping on the floor of my sister's room.
Okay.
And
older
just
sister?
my older sister's room, just hearing the music that she's playing.
Yeah.
And one of the albums was Link's Sex Down.
Yeah.
And I still listen to it.
That's crazy.
It's such a great.
That's deep cut right
Yeah,
there.
it's such a great, one of my favorite R&B albums. And
Yeah.
I think that I still listen to that album probably like once a week still.
Yeah.
Because it's so good. And at first, I think just being just a young dude, like I didn't really get the R&B. Like I'm like I didn't get how
especially
sexy
it was a lot of
was.
like groups back then, a lot of like boy singing groups. It was a lot different back in the day.
I think just being a dude, like one, just figuring out like you don't know how to talk to girls or this or like that, so you're not really getting why this music is so like women heavy or whatever. But as you get older, as you start finding love or whatever, it starts making sense then. And so I'm just trying to take that, like those memories of hearing, you know what I'm saying, Link, Code 3, H-Town, Jagged Edge, all of those great bands, and just, modernize it. And not only modernize it, throwing into this rock and roll thing with this rock and boom. You know, I say it's R&B with the intensity of rock. So just taking that and then also just matching it with, with R&B.
Really quickly, what rock influences do you have when it comes to just bands? Is it, I know Weezer's one, maybe like the Ramones, maybe the Smiths. What rock influence do you have?
So I'll start with, visually, the Smiths. And I found this by being at Yachty's crib. Okay. And he was like, yo, you never heard of... They brought up Morrissey, and I was like, who is that? Like, you never heard?
Aesthetically, that'll get you somewhere.
You know what I'm saying? Put it on the TV. I seen him throwing the flowers around ever since then. You know what I'm saying? I got the flowers on the mic. And, of course, you can look at, like, Phil Lynott of Thin Lizzy is a huge influence for me because he plays bass, but also being a black front man. That's major to me.
Right.
Rick James, you know what I'm saying? The punk funk, like that's rock and roll, you know what I'm saying? So like bands like that, Smiths, Living Color, stuff like that, man. And I gotta tell you, Chase.
Let's do it.
I gotta commend y'all on what y'all doing, you know what I'm saying? How hip hop it is, how MC and DJ it is, like what y'all are doing every night. It's so dope to see that. Like me being a fan of music, 50 years of hip hop, seeing that is MC and DJ, like that goes back to, you know what I'm saying, Will Smith, DJ Jazzy Jeff, first ones to win a Grammy in this hip hop thing, and seeing y'all do that in these arenas, in these stadiums, is major, bro. Yeah. Major.
And I would be lying if I said that I didn't have like my like reservations or like my doubts about what it would be like at this stage. It was like, you don't really see too many big arena shows with DJs on the stage and really being like a part of the show. So I was just kind of wondering, I didn't think it was just going to stop, but I was wondering like what it would be like to, in this day and age, to have that dynamic on, on these big festivals and these big shows. So it is a different thing, man. I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, y'all been very innovative with it too. If you look at like, look at the rodeo tour where you're at, and then you look at the weekend tour, like you are like your stage. Not only what you're doing, your stage position is also included.
Exactly.
Like, it's so innovative. It's so innovative.
I appreciate you, bro.
You're the highest in the room. Every tour you get higher.
Oh,
I don't know where they're gonna put you next to a Chase B. They keep putting you higher and higher, man. It's crazy.
No, one time I literally was a fucking rising cube box, and I had to
I
watch
seen
out.
that. Yeah, I was like, bro, no,
I'm the highest fucking.
You in the highest in the room, bro.
I'm high as a bitch in this goddamn room. So I got two more questions for you. First of all, we got to talk about Modern Jam. What did it mean to you? How did it come about? Just your process recording it. What you felt like you needed to bring to the song in general, for real.
So I think we got to start with the beginning of being in London, and really just my team having to convince me where I was in my career. And I think Trav had watched the story or something, and they was like, bro, reach out to him. I was like, nah, this and that.
No, we was jamming your shit. Fuck all that. We was.
Yeah, that's crazy.
When technically came out, it was a rap. We was like, all right, this kid.
Yeah, so I sent the DM. I was like, yo, I'll be in New York next week. We'll love to meet.
Yeah.
And then he was like, yeah, I'll be there. So we get to New York, meet at that, Electric Lady, and it was just such a genuine. You can I always say you can tell how much he cares about what he does, and just seeing how excited he is in the studio. And he played that rocking thing for me, man.
Right.
And I remember trying to record to it, and at first I couldn't think of anything. And I was like, yo, Trav, man, I was in the control. I was in the live room speaking to the control room, like, yo, I don't think I hear anything on it.
Okay.
And then the engineer was like, yo, he stepped out for a second. And I was like, all right, well, let me take a little minute, try something new. And then, bam, this is how we got Modern Jam. I love telling that story, take that breath, take that second, because, you know what I'm saying, it could be something great on the end of that. Give it another try at least.
Right.
Yeah.
Right here in New York City, man.
In New York, man.
Full circle, man. That's what we doing with Aux Money. You see how I did that? You see how we looped everything around back to New York, to Brooklyn, man? No, I'm talking shit. But, last thing, bro. If we could make Teezo's band, you're the lead singer.
Yeah.
You can have a secondary singer. We'll just put that out there.
Okay.
But let's make your band. If you were Earth, Wind, and Fire, what would it consist of?
Okay. Let's make a little Beaumont band.
Okay. Hey.
Let's put Larry Graham on bass.
Okay.
Let's put Barbara Lynn on guitar. And for drums.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's Ringo, bro. You can't. Hey, that's Ringo right there. You can't.
It's the rhythm.
Yeah.
You know what? We're having live auditions for our drummer right now, and I'm looking for not a traditional thing. We're going to the future. So if you're really good at drum programming, if you could, if you can hit me up, we're looking for a drummer for our band.
Yeah.
So hit us up.
Okay, fire. So that concludes Teezo's band, man. And we having live auditions. All right, catch him in London, or New York, or catch him on the tour. Send
me those drum packs. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, for real.
I need a drummer.
He's clearly listening to all of them too.
Yeah. I'm watching and hearing.
Teezo asked a really good question before we even started. This has nothing to do with anything, but he said, when you drink a drink, do you leave your eyes open or do you close them? And I've really been thinking about that since you said that. When you take a sip of whatever cup, do you close your eyes and envision the drink, or do you leave your eyes open and just watch the bottom of the cup?
Yeah, watch the cup or just look past the cup. I really want to know.
Yeah, because I don't remember. I don't know how many drinks I've had in my life, but now I don't remember how I actually drink. So that's kind of weird. But yeah, Teezo's been on every album that matters this year, and a very important one was For All the Dogs by Drizzy Drake. Just explain that process and how it might have differed from the rest of the albums that you were on.
To go again, record it in New York.
That's crazy.
So much.
Clearly you need to.
Yeah, something is happening out here in New York.
Yeah.
So that came about when when I started basically getting the advertisement for for How Do You Sleep at Night. I posted that first track, Okay. We did a visual for every song on the album.
Yeah, and that shit was going. With that.
Thank you. Shout out to my team. So I put that one out, and within a few hours, my cousin hit me and was like, yo, I think he said, yo, Drake just liked your post.
Right.
And yeah, he reached out, and I was already in. I knew what I had. I knew I was very excited about my album. I had just played it for Janelle Monáe, and he reached out, and I was like, yo, I would love to play you my album. So played him the album, and a few days later, we're working. Yeah. And this, it's that it was that quick, and I'm super thankful for that.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm being so vague on it, but
It ended up
Absolutely.
not being one but 2 songs on the album, right? It's you on.
Who's counting? Who's counting? I thank y'all for listening for all of this. Thank y'all for supporting everything we do and we put out. You know?
So what's the plan, man? What's going on with this new music that I've been hearing in these green rooms and all that type of shit? What's going on with the, future plans?
Yeah, the Sonics is rock and boom. Yeah. Taking this Sonic and just, being very studious, learning how I can just add to it and just learning from it. So we're just taking that sound and just bringing it to the world.
Right. Rock and boom, trademark by Teezo Touchdown, man.
Absolutely.
So, man, Teezo, bro, I appreciate you coming
man.
miles and miles from your green room all the way to mine.
Yeah, neighbor.
For real. Neighbor. Yeah, appreciate you making that commute, man. And thank you so much for pulling up. I still got to pull up to the one of the post game interviews that you was doing.
Like I said, you can really see the growth on what just how I've been moving. Yeah. If you see like from the post game interviews up to the tour announcement, now it's more like cinematic acting scenes. So I don't know, man. We might get your might gotta get our Chase B acting debut in that thing, man.
Trust me, I'm ready to rock, man. You know, us light-skinned actors, man, we move different.
I gotta get you a script written up then. Let's do it.
No, I'm with it. Let's do it.
Teezo,
Aux Money, back with another one. Yes, sir.